All right, so today, you see my title, Let My People Go. I had some requests to touch on this again about this eclipse coming up. And as I was preparing for my message, completely different message, new information came about this eclipse. So today, we finna present that to all you all. Because some new dots we need to connect here. All right, so let my people go. Everybody know what this is, right?
2017.
Absolutely right. This is the 2017 eclipse. The path it took from West Coast to East Coast on August 21st, 2017. All right. How about this one?
2024.
Everybody agree? 2024?
Yes.
Okay. You're exactly right. This is what will take place, the path on 2024 that the eclipse will make from south to north. How about this? What is this?
X.
The X? Okay. Who are things of the X? Thinking of X? Okay.
It look like an X.
Look like an X?
So I'm gonna go with an X, yeah. X out.
Okay.
I'm gonna go X out.
All right, this is the combination of the two eclipses. But what if I told you it's not an X?
It's not.
Everybody got your ciphers?
I don't. I left it some.
I got one right here.
Okay, please do.
I got it marked for you.
Okay.
Just open that paper, where that paper is at, and tell me what this looked like from the olive bet. And we'll wait a little second.
That's the Hebrew alphabet.
Alphabet.
Yep. See, what does this sign look like from the olive bet? Close as you can to it. And we're gonna get into it in my next slide. But I just kind of want everybody.
Strength of crown. Is it?
Hold
on.
It's a Tav. T-A-V.
Okay, right here. Mark sign of covenant.
All right, we're gonna get into it. Yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that we've been looking at it as an X.
Okay.
But that's not what the Most High is saying to us right now.
Okay. I can see that. Okay.
So a Tav. So we need to look into what this Tav means now. Because that's my brain when I first seen it and came across the information. Because it was sent to me. Brother Al, I'm giving him credit for this one here. He sent this to me.
Okay.
So my brain started looking like, what does this Tav means? So we'll take a look at the modern, the Middle Hebrew here, if y'all see the screen. That's what the Tav looked like in Middle Hebrew, see on the left. And then on the right one, it says the Hebrew letter Tav at the time of Ezekiel. You see what it looks like, and that looks like what this signature is that the Most High has put on the sky, because this is a signature. All right, stay with me.
Okay.
So let's find out a little bit what it means.
I think I know.
The letter Tav. Tav is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, or alphabet here, but it's alphabet, meaning mark, sign, omen, or seal. It is the symbol of truth, perfection, and completion. Okay? So we're going to go a little deeper. We're going to finish reading. It says, it represents the restoration of all existence. Now we know who the scriptures talk about, so this is an article, so we have to chew on the meat and spit out the bones. So we know who it's talking about here when it says represent all existence. It is the return to the essence and purpose of one's life. It represents completion before beginning again with the original oneness of the olive. Burn that in your brain. That what it means, and it's basically the end before it starts again with the olive, because it's going to get deep. We're going to get deep here. So So y'all good right now with the Tav. Y'all good with this tav here right now? What it means? Okay. Let's go to the next one here. Gematria. No, gematria is just a number value assigned to letters or words or phrases in the language. In gematria, the tav represents the number 400. Who brain waves are starting to fire right now? You should be firing.
Yeah.
Knowing what we just learned about this tav and knowing from a gematria standpoint, it represents 400. Your brain probably should start to think about Genesis 15:13 right now.
I'm reading Genesis. I haven't got to that part yet, but
Somebody want to open it up? Genesis 15:13. And we'll read it so everybody who's watching on video can hear. Yes, 15:13.
And he said unto Abram, know of a certainty that your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
400 years. Genesis 15:13. That was be afflicted. Now this tav is showing up. That represents a seal, a mark, covenant, or omen, with the gematria number that represents 400 right now.
Yes.
Right, 400 years. Yes. Time up.
All right. So let's go a little bit deeper. I got an article here because I want you to understand that we see in this tav now, but this is not the first time that the tav came across America. It happened before.
okay.
So I got an article we're going to read. And my mind at that point was saying, okay, since it happened before, what was the result? We're going to find out. This is an article. I'm going to read the article for you here. 2024 tav solar eclipse, coincidence or final warning? What's likely to become the biggest travel event during 2024 in America? Some might think it would be the Super Bowl or another sporting event such as the Indianapolis 500. However, according to the Washington Post, it will be the solar eclipse that will cross the U.S. on April 8th, 2024. This eclipse sparks added interest among prophecy watchers because of its relationship to another darkening of the sun that occurred on August 21st, 2017. The two eclipses, 7 years apart, will form a tav over America, intersecting at Little Egypt, a small town in southern Illinois. Is this just a coincidence, or is it the Elohim's way of alerting America that judgment is on the way? All right, we're going to keep going. It ain't done. The pattern of the two solar eclipses forming a tav, or some in this language say X, over the U.S. also happened in the early 1800s. Remarkably, the intersection of this century solar eclipse will be about 100 miles from where those of the 19th century cross paths. So this one is coming up is about 100 miles from where the 1800 one took place. Okay? All right, so the first solar eclipse occurred on June 16, 1806, with the second completing the tav on September 17, 1811. The intersection happened over the New Madrid Fault area, which includes an area from Cairo in southern Illinois to nearby New Madrid, Missouri. So in the 1800, it went over a fault line. It's 100 miles from this one. So what that means?
It's going over the same fault line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we'll keep going. And we see Cairo here, which is also a place in Egypt. So, all right, we'll keep going. Let's find out what happened. On December 16th, 1811, just 3 months after the second solar eclipse, a series of devastating earthquakes struck along the New Madrid fault line. The following quotes come from the New Madrid, Missouri website. The New Madrid earthquake were the biggest earthquakes in American history. This occurred in the central Mississippi Valley, but were felt as far away as New York City, Boston, Montreal, and Washington, D.C. President James Madison and his wife Dolly felt them in the White House. Church bells rang in Boston. So 3 months after the Tav of 1811, devastating earthquakes struck. All right, we'll keep going. From December 16th, which is when the earthquakes, 1811, through March of 1812, there were over 2,000 earthquakes in the central Midwest and between 6,000 and 10,000 earthquakes in the Boot Hill of Missouri, where New Madrid is located near the junction of the Ohio and Mississippi River. In the known history of the world, no other earthquakes has lasted so long or produced so much evidence of damage as the New Madrid earthquakes. 3 of the earthquakes are on the list of America's top earthquakes. The first one in December 16, 1811, a magnitude 8.1 on the Richter scale. The second one on January 23, 1812 at 7.8. And the third on February 7, 1812, as much as 8.8 magnitude.
Wow. We about to see double.
So 3 earthquakes. We're going to get into that. How about triple? But we're going to get into that. So you got these biggest earthquakes in American history 3 months after the Tav showed up. In 1806, 1811. 3 months. 3, we obviously know represent completeness. Not to the level of 7, which is completion, but completeness. Okay? All right, so this finished the article right here. Could this upcoming completion of an Tav over the U.S. midsection by the April 8th, 2024 eclipse point to another catastrophe in the months afterwards? Is this just an uncanny coincidence or something more ominous?
But the Most High, He works in, I'm going to say according to this, from what I've been seeing too, His patterns.
Right, in history, nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
It normally repeats. So it happened, and now the same thing is happening right near the same junction. And we've seen the results right over that fault line. But we're going to go into it because it's a little bit more happening around that time as well. So we understand this happened in 1811. 1812, it was a war. So the Tav happened in 1811. In 1812, we was at war. And this is just a little snippet. We're going to break this down quickly too. As the gents negotiated, suggested the real cause of the War of 1812 were not merely commerce and neutral rights, but also Western expansion, relations with the American Indians, and territorial control of North America. And the bottom one says the War 1812 to 1815 was fought between the United States and Great Britain, primarily over the impressment of American sailors by the British Navy, as well as disagreement over trade, Western expansion, and Native American policies. So we see the Tav, we see the earthquakes, now we see war followed. But when I read this, something else jumped out to me. When I was reading it, I see that this war is being fought over money, land, and people. And if I think about it today, got the Hebrews, the people, we owed the money for what they owe us in reparations in our land. Money, land, people. So the Tav showing us that so far, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. It goes deeper than this. Because the Most High, He put a signature up there. Not just in a Tav, but He put a signature, which we completely miss. I miss. But I got it today.
Ooh, it wrapped the whole deep.
Who remember this one? This here is the eclipse that happened October of 2023.
I was about to say one day.
I remember that one.
October 2023. But this the part we missed. We was focusing on this Tav of this X. But this one created a whole new element to this old equation.
Okay.
Go back to your ciphers and tell me what this looked like.
I just, that one right there in the front. It's the very first one.
Label.
It's
The ox head, strength, and crown.
This is the olive.
The
Oh.
yep.
Label.
So we-
When we was driving,
okay.
we saw that up in the sky, and I was trying to get it. We was trying to see what it was.
And I remember that's Montreal, and they said there's some jets, but that was like the mall.
That was it.
So we seen the Most High sign the Tav. Nah, the Most High also signed the olive. The beginning and the end. The olive and the Tav. It's his signature. He done stamped his signature what's in the sky for us, for his people. And he didn't write it in English, he wrote it in his language.
In Hebrew. Yep.
This is his language. Right in the sky to let you know it's him. Nobody else, it's him.
Praise God.
And I ain't gonna stop you because I know you got a great teaching. But he only did it over America.
That's right.
The olive and the Tav, yes, over America.
Teach, baby.
Praise God.
All right, we're gonna look at a little bit what this olive mean though. All right, we see the Middle Hebrew the same as the Tav was the Middle Hebrew, his language. And the gematria of this olive represents the number 1, which is the Most High, number 1. And when used as the beginning of Hebrew years, it means 1,000. Do your brains neurons start firing on me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who know what Revelation 20 says?
That the Yeshua should come back and reign for
1,000 years. The Meshua reign will be 1,000 years. So we get the olive and the Tav. The olive represent 1, but also 1,000 when it refers to Hebrew years, which could be talking about the 1,000 year reign of the Messiah also is getting ready to occur with these signs.
Praise you.
Coming back.
All right, so this is basically what we just read, but I'm going to read it as well. The letter Aleph is the father of the Alphabet, whose original pictograph representing ox, strength, and leader. Its numerical value is 1 and also 1,000. And it is a silent letter. Aleph, therefore, is preeminent in its order and alludes to the ineffable mysteries of the oneness of Yah. So y'all still with me. Now we'll look at some scriptures that speaks of the Aleph and the Tav here. Got a couple. Revelations 21 verse 6. And it reads, "And he said unto me, it is done. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely." So we see in Revelation, he's the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end. And okay, now we look at another. We're going to look at a few more. Revelation 1 and 8 says, "I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, says Yahuwah Elohim, which is, and which was, and which is to come, Yahuwah Sevaoth." And you see here, he signed his signature after he told you he's the Aleph and the Tav. He put his name there. I am Yahuwah. He let you know it's a signature. Same thing I just told you what's in the sky. He signed a signature. The Aleph and the Tav is his signature. So he put his signature also in these scriptures when he told you. He's beginning and is, says Yahuwah, which is, was, which is to come. And then he put his name, Yahuwah Sevaoth. I'm going to look at some more scriptures. We're not finished. Isaiah. So we looked at a few in the New Testament. We're going to look at a couple in the Old Testament. Isaiah 41:4. "Who has wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? Yahuwah, the first, and with the last, I am he." All right, so there we go again. He said he's the first and the last. Yahuwah, he is he. Isaiah 41:6. Thus says Yahuwah, the king of Yashar'el, and his redeemer, Yahuwah Sevaoth. I am the first and I am the last, and beside me there is no Elohim. So you see he signed his signature again in this one. After he told you he's the king of Yashar'el and the redeemer of Yashar'el, he put his name, Yahuwah Sevaoth. He signed it again, right in this scripture for us. All right. So let's take a look at this picture here. Brother Kerry just said we're going to get double. Look at these intersections. Each one of them intersections, then this eclipse crossed over a subduction line. We got the New Madrid fault line that crossed over, are going to be crossing over. We got the Balcones fault line in Texas that April 8th going to be crossing over. And the top of the Olive crossed over the Cascadia fault line right off the coast of Oregon in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, that's triple.
So three fault lines. This olive and tar form crossed over a three fault lines, I should say.
Causing a triple earthquakes like that will cause it to break.
I think so. We're going to read a little bit about Cascadia. We talked about a little bit about Madrid.
Yellowstone will erupt.
We're going to read a little bit about Cascadia here.
Yeah.
Everybody still with me? Okay. So this article here is a little bit about the Cascadia subduction zone. And it reads, the last time, well, the title says Cascadia subduction zone caused major Washington earthquake 324 years ago. So the last time the Cascadia subduction zone caused a major earthquake and tsunami was in 1700s. Friday, which is yesterday, marks the anniversary of the last major earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest when the Cascadia subduction zone went off 324 years ago. The anniversary of that was yesterday.
Wow.
All right, so we'll read a little bit more of this. Since then, Washington has seen smaller earthquakes such as magnitude 6.8 and Nesqually quake in 2001, but nothing like the one caused by the Cascadia subduction zone. On January 26, 1700 at 9 p.m., the fault line that locks the ocean floor to the North American plate slipped and caused an earthquake so big it created a tsunami on the west side of the Pacific Ocean. The tsunami was recorded in Japan. So it happens off the coast of the United States, but the tsunami was recorded in Japan. It was so big, that quake. All right. And scientists nailed down the time of the earthquake based on those recordings. They took the recorded time of the tsunami and backtracked it by the 500 miles per hour of tsunami energy it takes to cross an ocean to calculate when it began. The Japanese call it the orphan tsunami because to them there didn't seem to be any earthquake activity associated with it. In Washington State, scientists were able to track information about the 1700 earthquakes by examining ghost forests along the coast. These forests are dead trees that were invaded by salt water. By measuring the correlated rings from surviving trees, it appears the trees killed by the quake were alive in 1699, but not in 1700 when this quake happened. When the earthquake struck, the land the trees were growing on dropped as pressure building between the North American tectonic plate and the Juan de Fuca plate, which was being forced under it, locked. The earthquake lowered the outer coast and allowed it to move west. Scientists said the trees were killed when the land that were growing on suddenly dropped between 6 and 8 feet, turning the land into a salt marsh, which is uninhabitable for coniferous trees. The Cascadia subduction zone starts off Cape Mendocino, California, and runs off the coast of Northern California, Oregon, and Washington to the north end of Vancouver Island, Canada. When it goes off again, seismologists expect a magnitude 9 earthquake to last 5 minutes or longer. The quake comes every 250 years on average, but the intervals are highly variable according to geologists. So it's overdue. If it comes every 250 years on average, we at 324 years right now, as of yesterday.
So it's going to be double, triple.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot.
And like Brother Kerr said, this might set off other ones. This is close to probably San Andreas. San Andreas run through California.
What you talking about? Yellowstone.
You got Yellowstone,
Yellowstone is close.
Mount St. Helens. All that is in that region. Could this jumpstart any of those? Possible.
Yeah, they already said if Yellowstone go out, we'll feel it here in Georgia, and it's all the way on the west side. So if that's closer and cause it, yeah, it's going to break
Yep.
the plate. It's going to split. Most high ain't playing.
So we got a little bit more here. Then we're gonna finish up. We ain't got much longer. We ain't got much longer. Like the signs are strong. And I told you that the Tav happened before. The Tav is gonna happen in the future. Near future again, other than the United States. This here is a picture of what the map shows us is Egypt today. So in 2027 to 2034, see the parallels to that. Our first eclipse happened in 2017. Their first going to happen in 2027. Our completion of the Tav happened in 2024. Their completion of their Tav going to happen in 2034. And this is what the map shows us as Egypt today. It's in the southeast corner of it, right at the Red Sea. It's the Most High giving us more signs from a parallel standpoint that basically saying, America, let my people go. Because it's happening over there as well as here a little bit later. And it's happening at the Red Sea. We know the Israelites crossed over the Red Sea, across through the Red Sea when they left out of Egypt.
Exactly.
He's sending signs to let my people go. And we've seen like I said, the years, basically 10 years, 2017, there's 2027, 2024 hours, 2034. All right. But I got a short video. It's about 5 minutes. It's a pretty deep video.
Before you get started, I need to move it in the soda, declare.
And we're going to kind of end it in a few minutes after the video. We'll maybe have a quick discussion about one article I got, but all right. So this one was sent to me as well by Brother Al, and it was very interesting when I went in. It's about 4 to 5 minutes. Here we go. Can you turn it up? Let's go back. I'll try to go back and restart it.
How many total solar eclipses have been over the United States since it became a nation in 1776? Anybody know? I will tell you. 8. Here's when they occurred. We had 2 in the 1700s. 80 years later, we had 3 in the 1800s. 92 years later, we had 2 in the 1900s. We're now in the year the millennium or whatever, 2000 of the century. If you see, there's only 7 there. When was the 8th one? It's in this century. 38 years later, on August 21st, which was the great American eclipse that went from Oregon all the way down through the Carolinas. Everyone remember that? Okay, here's what's significant. That was the 8th one, and 8 always speaks of new beginnings. Okay, it's the first year of a new Shemitah cycle, and the 9th year would be the 2nd year. But get a load of this. Solar eclipses always refer to the nation, to judgment on a nation. A lunar eclipse always refers to judgment toward Israel. This is a solar eclipse, and it is the very first total solar eclipse exclusively to the United States since before the nation's founding in 1776. The one that happened in 2017 was the one and only in our history total solar eclipse that only hit the United States. It didn't hit Mexico, it didn't hit Canada. We were the only country. What that means, God put a target on our nation. We're going to be judged. Now, watch this. April 8th of 2024, this next spring, is the 9th solar eclipse to go over America. Now, let's go back and also realize April 8th is Nisan 1, which is very significant. So let's look at patterns. The 2 solar eclipses that happened in the 1700s, what was going on at that time? The Revolutionary War. The 3 solar eclipses that happened in the 1800s, what was going on? The American Civil War. During the 70s, what was going on? The Vietnam War. Okay, so August 21st, 2017, which is exactly 7 years before this one in April, will there be war? That's been the pattern. But the next one isn't until 2044, the next solar eclipse. So I really believe that we're headed for interesting times because this is the 9th eclipse, and 9 is the last of the single digits, and thus marks the end. It's significant of the conclusion of a matter is the number of finality or judgment. And it looks like war. Okay, let's go back to our notes a minute. I'm going to put this up on the screen too. Numbers 1, we'll look at verses 1 through 3. They're done traveling or sitting at the mountain for a year. It's time to go to war and get the promised land. Numbers 1 through 3, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness, in the tabernacle, on the first day of the 2nd month. Whenever you're reading the Bible and you hear the first day of the month, you think of new moon. There's always a new moon on the 1st month. You also think of blowing the shofar, because they blow the shofar on the new moon, but they also blow the shofar when they're about to go to war. Both are happening at this time. In the 2nd year, after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, take the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel from 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go what? To war. All that are able to go to war in Israel, you shall number them by their armies. If you're going to go to war, you better get organized.
He said we going to war.
Civil War.
Right. So yeah, war was happening during all those eclipses.
Yeah.
I told you in 1806, war happened right after that one as well.
Right, he did. And he just was saying about April 8th again. Every time he said a civil war, we headed for civil war, so.
Civil war, judgment, destructions,
But he
earthquake. I think it all is coming.
spoke war against Iran. That same guy, Jamie.
Okay.
I follow her on YouTube.
Okay.
He did a sitcom. It was like, I believe, like a 90%. It would be with Iran by April 8th or around that time.
It's coming.
Okay. Yeah. And when I think about all that and put it all together, I think about 2nd Esdras 6:9. Is it 6:9, 9-6? What it is? I think it's 6:9.
6 and 9.
I got it written down. Yep, 6 and 9, which basically says that the end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob to follow. So when I think about this study and we're putting all the pieces together, that's what definitions means and the numbering means. It lines up to 2nd Esdras 6, verse 9. That the end of Esau world is the beginning of Jacob's to follow. And I'm got this article here. We're not going to get into it too much, but y'all can read on your own if you want to take a picture of Google or whatever, or just Google the comment. But it's a comment that's going to show up so around this time, about a week before, around March, I think March 31st-ish. And then they're going to show up again, I believe, around the 21st of April. And the media called this comet the devil's comet. And it's going to show up, like I say, near the time of this eclipse. So y'all can just Google devil's comet or whatever, and y'all can read the articles. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I'm still understanding it myself, of what it means and what is going on. But I just find it alarming that something showing up called a devil's comet around this time when this eclipse Tav will be coming. So family, that's all I have for you today, this information. Hopefully it didn't overwhelm you too much. All right, so we'll close out. I want to thank all who joined us today from afar or in this room with us today. I hope this message was edifying. I hope it was able to help you seek the Most High even more if you haven't been seeking Him. But I thank you for joining Yashar'el, and I pray that you join us again. Thank you. Shalom.